Alpha Team, prepare to breach. In Milsim, anybody can wear the uniform. But discipline and leadership decide whether a unit succeeds or if they fall apart. In this series, we interview Milsim groups, train alongside their members, and enter their operations to discover what they do right and to discover what they do wrong. This is Inside the Milsim. All right. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, tell us your position within Archangel, and briefly explain what responsibilities you guys handle, one at a time.
Lovely. Okay, cool. I'm cool to start first. So my name is AD Diesel. I'm joint lead of Archangel. I handle mostly kind of interior politics, so when it comes to how members interact with each other, general events, any issues, and so on. Blackstone.
Yeah, I am AD Blackstone. I'm a joint lead of Archangel. I handle most exterior affairs with Archangel, including interactions with other units and onboarding new members.
What did you want Archangel to do differently from other Milsim groups? Like, what separates you guys?
Cool. So the big thing, this obviously depends on the person. So obviously Blackstone probably have a different opinion on this. But at least for me, the most important thing I find is the line we dance on in between realism but also fun of a game. What I find most often from Milsims is they're one or the other. Either they're hyper realistic and a bunch of kind of fucking 15-year-olds acting like they're soldiers, or it's the other way and it's just a group of friends that call themselves a Milsim but do nothing. What I think we do well is we find that line. We're adults about it. We understand it's a video game and there's certain type of stuff you don't do. It's not the real military. However, we are all here for a reason and because of a common interest. So we do try and have the professionalism, but alongside still having fun in a video game.
And then I know you said you guys usually defer to the lower command team with disagreements, but do one of you have a final say if you can't agree?
Not so much, no. So I say influences. A lot of people say, for example, I might have more influence in different areas. So say, for example, if it's a internal matter between NCOs, because that's directly my field, if Blackstone's had a kind of disagreement, I would have the authority to just be like, no, we're going to do it this way. Same vice versa with Blackstone if it's White Division with the onboarding and same stuff like that. However, when it comes to just general, we don't have just a person that can jump over. I wouldn't have the authority to jump over Blackstone as we're the same rank. What we do and what we have done is we'll bring in lower ranks and then we'll vote via that for the fairest system.
What do you look for in someone who wants to join the Archangel group?
I can speak on that.
Blackstone's field, that one.
Yeah, that's my field. Primarily, we're looking at their character, right? We want to make sure that someone is mature, that they can be professional of when it's asked of them, right? Character is a really big thing. Skill level, not so much, right? We can teach you new skills. We can teach you to fill in holes in your skill set or in your knowledge base. I can't make you mature. So maturity and your overall character is primarily what we look at.
How often are members expected to attend trainings?
Cool. So we're pretty loose on this based upon kind of any situations that's current. So we base it on two things. One, we give them a minimum requirement that we expect to see them just as a general way of keeping track of everybody, and that's 1 hour a week. Outside of that, the strictness of kind of how much we need people to be involved will be based upon how many trainings we get up. We do want to be fair to people. So, for example, if we've had a rough week and we've had 2 weeks of barely any trainings, we won't be as hard on people not completing the 1 hour a week or so on because we haven't given the opportunity. So it does based upon kind of what's there for them.
All right. What does a normal Archangel operation look like from planning the mission to completing it?
Perfect. So the way it normally goes is whoever's going to be the head of that operation will create normally what you see is a document. with that document, it'll outside the missing parameters, goals, objectives, and so on. Often then will include the loadout, any friendlies, enemy hostiles, and so on. From there, once you load into the event, they'll go for a briefing. We all know how it is with the map. They'll go to the map, go for the briefing of the mission objectives, go over the plan. They will then discuss with the team. Obviously, it varies with what team. If it's more of an elite team, it would be more of an open group discussion. If it's more of kind of a normal standard with an NCO, it might be a bit more directive. But they'll go over the plan, and then from that plan, they may do a dry run depending on the instructor, or they might go straight into it, but then they'll go and execute the mission.
What separates a good Milsim leader from somebody who simply holds a rank?
Good question. So, well, it's this classic question of what's the difference between a boss and a leader? Really, is that same thing. So, if you're given a position, then you have that position. You are the boss of that position. However, a leader, the way I see it, is a boss you're told to follow. A leader is somebody you want to follow. So a leader's going to take the initiative. They're going to make the people actually under them want to be there, want to push farther, and actually want to physically learn. If you find people under you just going for the motions because they have to, in my opinion, you're not a leader.
How do you decide when somebody is ready for a leadership position?
Cool. So the way I always see it is I don't decide on something I don't know. So if I think somebody's got themselves into a position, they say they've completed certain trainings or they completed certain things to get to where they are. Instead, what I'll do is I'll provide an opportunity to them to then prove certain qualities themselves. So, for example, putting in more kind of, an example is in this, we have an NCO training. That's NCO training is resolved around kind of all the prior training they've done prior, and then adding a stress element on top of that just to try and bring out more of a real personality, make it a lot harder to kind of think and act and kind of have that nicer personality you put on top of your real one. So the way I see it when it comes to leadership is if someone shows a few qualities, you then test that. If they then start to shine through there, then you kind of elevate them up and then give them more and more responsibilities.
But would you say the reason you guys haven't had any incidences is because of your guys' filter and your pipeline for leadership?
100%. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I'll say a bit of both. Because when you start getting to the hundreds, 150s, it's not feasible realistically to have as tighter leadership kind of watch as we do. So the sizes kind of allows us to do that, but yeah, it's very much a check that does kind of prevent everything.
Yeah, that's a great answer. That's what I was going to say.
You have a highly skilled member who performs well during operations, but constantly argues with leadership and causes problems with other members. Do you keep them because of their skill, or do you remove or reprimand them because of their attitude?
Reprimand and remove. That's simple. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a reprimand. It was mentioned earlier, we give several warnings, just on a case-by-case basis. It really is. If they consistently and constantly are an issue and don't want to accept those reprimands, don't want to accept those punishments, then at some point, yes, they would be removed despite being a highly skilled member.
Would your decision change if that person was a longtime member or a close friend?
Oh, two different things for me. A close friend, no, because that's a personal thing. This is a different group, even though I do struggle with that personally, but that's something I do try and make sure. So it should be very separate. However, a long-term member is a very different thing. So they've actively put into the group and helped it become where it is. So there's a certain loyalty there I do think should be repaid, especially if they're a member that has actively helped the group grow or help the group in another part or something like this. I do think there should be a certain amount of kind of respect that you give them that a new member or somebody that's never really contributed probably wouldn't get.
Loyalty again is one of our core values here in Archangel. If they've been a long time member and they're the one that's acting out, my first question is why, right? What's going on IRL? And that's going to be a conversation that command staff has with them to figure out what's going on. Because if they're a longtime member, more than likely they haven't been causing issues for a long time.
How comfortable are members with criticizing the leadership and their decisions?
Well, I'd hope very comfortable because we push it all the time. It's one of the things we consistently keep saying. I think one of the big things about all people that get to specifically high command is we ensure they're not people with ego, because they'd piss off everyone else in high command very quickly if they did. So I'd like to hope, obviously we never know, but at least from talking to our people, especially the main guys that chat to a lot of the other people and we don't have time, yeah, we're very open about it, and we have changed probably more things than I can count with advice from people from any rank, even the newest people.
So what really matters though is the experience of the members. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few cuts from the interview I did with one of the lower members, Junior Officer Rudy. I'm not going to do his full interview because it ended up actually being over 40 minutes, and I don't want this video to be too long. So go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us how long you've been with Archangel, and explain what the role you perform in the server is.
Hello, my name is Junior Operator Rudy. I am part of the lower enlisted in the group, and my main job in the server is show up to operations and conduct how I was taught in my BCT.
What does a normal Archangel operation or mission feel like from the perspective of someone who is lower enlisted?
Feels very well organized. There's not stuff that's left out. You know, people are certified for different roles. People are leadership. People are better at other stuff than others. And it's really taken into account throughout the operation. Everyone is sort of where they're meant to be, and it's very well-rounded experience.
How do leaders react when somebody makes a mistake?
They aren't pushy with it. They have a very good approach with it, I'd say. Messing up in operations, trainings, obviously there's a difference towards the two, but beneath that there is no malice. There is no aggression. If you do something wrong, we know it's a game, but we are also not gonna, take it lightly.
What would you say the best part of being a member of Archangel is?
The people you are in operations with, you're not made to feel like you're not meant to be there. You know, people are showing up every day. There's different people. You'll get to meet new people. You'll get to feel welcomed. It's genuinely one of the best experiences I've had inside of Milsim.
So, considering the usual feedback or the usual stereotypes that are associated with Milsim groups, would you say Archangel falls under any of those stereotypes, or are they kind of set aside from the rest?
Our Archangel isn't like, your typical Marine Corps drill instructors, people shouting at you. People have been in Milsims and they will have the same experiences as me. I've been through Milsims. Sometimes you're just not meant to feel welcomed. You're not meant to feel like you're anything special or like anything like that. It's sort of just you are the lower enlisted, you don't matter. But in Archangel, there is nothing like that. Everyone is as tip top as they can be. You know, we're meant to be good at what we do, and it definitely shows that throughout how you get treated.
No group is perfect. What is one thing Archangel could do that would improve itself?
I would say advertise more. I'm not too frequent in the Tactical Assault VR Discord. I sometimes look through the communities just to see if there's any new ones interesting, not to join them, but just to see what's going on. And I don't really see Archangels posting stuff like that. And I definitely like to see some more members inside.
All right. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate it. That concludes the interview. Whenever I finish editing this, I'm going to send like a trailer out in the media channel. But I appreciate it, dude.
Okay. No worries. Thank you very much.
Leadership sets the standards, but moments like these are what turn a group into something its members genuinely care about. Thank you for giving us a honest look into what it's like to be part of Archangel. I was actually lucky enough to be able to hop in on one of their trainings, their force on force PvP training. Essentially, they get into a PvP lobby that's private, fill it all the way up with 10 members, and then they do 5-on-5 or even less for a harder scenario, basically just tactical fighting, not just all out normal PvP like normal. They move tactically and they fight tactically and they learn and work off each other. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some clips from that, and then I'll let you know what my opinion was of it at the end.
The same fucking team, that's dumb as shit. So, you three are going to be support, us two are going to be in front, is going to be assault, we're going to push in.
So right off the bat, we all grouped up with the attacking team, and the designated team leader was Diesel. We made a short plan because the whole point is just go into it, try to stay tactical, but like nobody gets any time to do anything. There are other events where they seem like they do more planning, and he had a pretty solid plan off the bat. He wanted a 2-man team to go first with a 3-man team in reserve ready to flank. It's you'll see how it went.
Oh, fuck yeah, of course it can. Alright, someone keep that door, yeah?
I'm hooking.
Alright, you're going to open the door to your right, okay? If you're on a J-hook, hold that dead right, and have another man on me. Perfect, you hold center. Ready?
So pretty much as soon as we enter, we take contact and take a casualty, but instead of panicking, to their credit, they reacted calmly and efficiently. We took fire from the left. As you can see, I opened up on them, and then we just kept moving from there.
Lukey, hold that door. Alright, everyone start pushing. Someone hold that door on the right. You two start pushing forward towards that green you see in your 12.
Yeah, I'm about to watch.
So we kept moving through the mall. We had already killed 2 of them at this point, and there was 1 left, I believe. We ended up holding up in the auditorium and essentially just making them come to us. We locked it down. They eventually pushed too far, and we killed.
I don't want to come back out this way if we know we're coming. Fuck it, I don't want to be waiting. Tight, if you push past me, I'll be covered.
You want to drop?
So I don't know why my audio was not recorded when I did these clips. Just know I am talking. It just didn't get picked up. For this next segment, it is the same event, but I was given the opportunity to play as Op 4. So here I was trying to be sneaky and see if I could get them off the start, but I did not expect them to come in that way, and I hauled ass and tried to hide in the elevator for a while. But they ended up not coming down that hallway.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can try and ambush him.
I don't even know where I'm at.
So I just want to remind you, PvP is hard. Not everybody's great at it, but they obviously demonstrated that they have the fundamentals of the training. They could probably just use some more reps with it. But just keep in mind, all members of this training, minus myself, were members of Archangel. And the person that actually ambushed them with me was Diesel, the group leader, and he coordinated that entire
That
thing.
was a fucking one heck of a
Y'all just kill all of them. I was about to sneak up behind them. Friendly over here. Hell yeah.
So the question is Archangel worth joining? For players looking for quick, casual matches with no structure or commitment, Archangel is probably not the right group for you. However, players interested in organized missions, defined team roles, continuing campaigns, and military-inspired and trained communication, as long as structured training, may find a lot to enjoy here. I feel like Archangel has a very strong foundation. Its organization, mission planning, team structure, and willingness to create a larger campaign-style experience helps it stand apart from the standard tactical assault VR groups. At the same time, the group's success depends on its consistency. The quality of its leadership, communication, trainings, and executions need to remain strong across every operation and not just when its most experienced members are present. Archangel is not perfect, but no Milsim group is. What matters is whether the organization recognizes its weaknesses, develops its members, and continues improving without losing the enjoyment of the game. Archangel has the structure and potential to become one of the most strong Milsim communities in Tactical Assault VR, but whether it reaches that potential will depend on consistent leadership, practical training, clear communication, and its ability to develop members while keeping their experience enjoyable. And that concludes our review of the Archangel Milsim group. This review reflects the group as it operated during our time with them. Leadership, members, and procedures may change over time. Do you agree with this review, or have you even operated alongside Archangel yourself in the past? Let me know in the comments. And if there is another group you think should be featured, or if you want your group to be featured, leave its name below or DM me on Discord, and I'll have it linked in my description. This has been Inside the Milsim.